It's coming along. We've got just a windshield to do and a couple things, and we can finally take this thing for her maiden voyage. The 69 Corvette. Today's project is going to be replacing these control arm bushings. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, I built this car from the ground up. So everything is brand new, but I did a video probably a year or two ago about these Van Steel trailing arms. Turns out that about 10 years ago, Van Steel, they used you know, some cheap knockoff brand of, you know, bushing apparently, and it was just an inferior product, you know, to like a polyurethane. Now these are brand new, but I had a 69 Corvette that I worked on back in when did I have that car? 2007, 2008. And it was a few years after that that I bought these, but I never put them on, so they just sat on the shelf for years. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the new bushings put in today. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. So we got the passenger side out here. Let's take a look at this thing. Look at that thing disintegrating. Holy moly. Look at that. It's like there's just nothing there. Jesus. Oh, that's terrible. Now let's just hope that this piece comes out pretty easy, which I don't think that this is gonna fight me. I think this is gonna fall right out of here. Okay, you can see right there's where the bushing is supposed to be. So this looks like it's all one piece here. So I'm gonna have to cut this off. Just take just a cutting wheel and just buzz that off right there. You could use a sawzall too to do that. So, alrighty, look at that mess. Got the passenger side out here now, and the bushing on this side wasn't quite as bad, but it's still pretty rough. I mean, it's just flaking apart. You know, whenever I put these in originally, you know, like I said, these had been sitting on the shelf for a long time. There was no cracks or splits at all in these bushings, you know, because they'd never been bolted up or moved, so they didn't, even though they were totally dried out and just ready to crumble, you know, they had never been twisted on or torqued on. And so they looked perfect. There wasn't any splits or cracks, and that's why I threw them in there. I didn't even give it a second thought. These are the new bushings here, and these are polyurethane, so I'll show you these here in a second, and how to put them in. And these will also work on stock trailing arms. So we'll come back to this in a minute. So once I cut this washer off of here, what I can do is I can just slide this thing out. So basically it just has like a sleeve like this that's inside there, and then the two washers are just pressed on, but they kind of have, you can see it's kind of like the sleeve in the center is mushroomed out around the washer so it doesn't fall off. So instead of monkeying with that and trying to drill out that mushroom, I'm just gonna use an angle grinder and just cut the washer straight off. I need to just kind of, you know, get some of this out of there first. And then what we'll do is, so this piece here is like a insert that's pressed into this piece of steel here. So that's gonna stay in there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the new bushing halves in. And then we'll just press this thing through, and then we just have the 2 washers that go on each end. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna finish knocking all this stuff out of here, and then I'll cut that washer right off of there. Okay, so I got that thing cut off of there. And now this thing will just slide right out of here. There we go. That's it. And then just got to push the rest of this bushing out with something here. Get a punch or something to knock that out. So then this is what we're left with here. We just got the shell in there, and then we'll put some grease on these, and we'll just push those in there and then push the sleeve through that. You know, the scary thing about it is that these actually, they do look and feel like they were, or they are polyurethane. Maybe just a bad, maybe a bad batch or a bad, I don't know what the hell, because they're pretty nasty. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's just shattered to nothing. Yeah, well, hopefully the new ones don't do that. So anyway, so that's a fairly simple job. Everything just presses together by hand, and you don't even need a press to put these together. If you buy the ones that have this shell, you would have to press that shell in. But for this setup, it should be okay, even if you don't have a press. Okay, so working on this back brake here. But while I'm at that, I may as well take a look at these trailing arms now that they've been installed for a couple 100 miles. And just kind of see how these bushings are holding up. It's kind of hard to see in there, but looks like they're doing okay, as I figured they would since they are brand new and from a different manufacturer than those other ones. So overall, these are pretty nice A-arms. I was a little upset, you know, in my first video with having to tear them out again. So again, you know, my first video kind of had a negative vibe towards these trailing arms, but in reality, I mean, Van Steel builds a really nice product. You know, if you're looking to run a deep tire, having this offset right here is really nice. And you know, these are, I want to say maybe these are the older design. I mean, these are 10 or 15 years old, but I think the new ones have holes in here for weight saving or something. The only thing I think might be kind of wonky is the angle that they put this bracket, because this cable is really, really tight. It was actually really hard to get this e-brake system even working. And I don't know if that's, you know, something with Van Steel, or if it was maybe just this aftermarket e-brake cable was just kind of, maybe it left a few things to be desired, but I don't know. I mean, certainly I could probably take this bracket and I could turn it a little bit to get a little better angle here. But aside from that, overall, quite satisfied. Everything's holding together. You know, and I really didn't even need to use a trailing arm like this with that huge offset like that. I was originally going to put wider tires on this car, but then I ended up going with the Firestone, you know, that's on it now. You know, these here, they're really narrow, so I didn't even need that kind of a trailing arm. But I've got, see, I've got brake fluid leaking out of that caliper. I can't find where it's coming from though. But anyway, yeah, really nice trailing arms. So if you're looking for something like that, check out Van Steel. It's obviously a good product. You know, they're built really heavy. Pretty nice. Quite expensive, but you get what you pay for. So that's pretty much about it for this. I should wrap up the whole Van Steel trailing arm issue debacle that I had. And yeah, trying to get these brakes taken care of so I can go rip this thing down the road. So alrighty, we will catch you in the next video.